Hello everyone, Greg's Gauntlet here with my top 5 Apple products of 2017. So for number 5, the Apple TV 4K owns the top spot of this list. It was not the most exciting Apple product of the year, but it did a lot of things right. This is the best quality TV streaming device on the market, although it is a little expensive at $179, but it's definitely worth it if you are an avid Apple user. The steeper cost of the device is quickly made up if you own a large selection of iTunes movies, because if a 4K HDR version of the movie is available, you will be upgraded for free from an HD copy. If you are purchasing a new movie, Apple has kept the pricing of 4K HDR titles the same as their HD counterparts. This was a big win for consumers, considering many other services were offering these titles at higher prices and were not upgrading your old HD libraries for free. There is a plethora of available 4K content from all major streaming services, and Prime Video is now available, making it one of the most robust streaming services available. The interface is smooth and snappy, and Apple even updated some initial complaints about auto-switching the video source so you don't get weird artifacts or bad picture on non-4K HDR content. It supports Dolby Vision, which creates a superior picture compared to the HDR10 standard. The only real negative is that YouTube still is not supported in 4K as of the making of this video. There's not much to say, but this was a long-awaited upgrade for the 4K Apple TV, and I've been using it a lot more and have been really appreciating the picture quality with my 4K TV. Okay, taking the number 4 spot is the iMac. Now, this was the year what we saw what looked like to be a stronger commitment and refocusing to the Mac line of computers than we had seen in the previous year. Accompanied with this refocus were 2 new products. Now, the iMac Pro that was just released in December might be the new hotness, but I think this spot actually belongs to the regular old 2017 entry-level 27-inch Retina 5K iMac that was introduced back earlier this year. This is the machine I use to edit all of my 4K videos on, edit photos, and use as my general day-to-day desktop. I think it's the best value in the entire Mac lineup. For the price, you get a beautiful 5K screen that is almost worth the price of the computer alone, which starts at $17.99. It features 500 nits of brightness, 5K resolution, P3 color gamut, and seriously, if you were to buy this display from Apple, the LG version retails for $1,300 alone. Amazing display aside, you get an i5 quad-core 3.4 GHz Intel processor. It comes with 8 GB of RAM, but the great thing about the entry-level 27-inch iMac is that you can actually upgrade the RAM yourself, so you can upgrade the RAM up to 64 GB of DDR4 RAM. You get a not amazing but decent 4 GB AMD Radeon Pro 570, which allows you to play certain games like StarCraft or League of Legends in 4K, and you can also play heavier titles like Civ 6 in HD resolutions. The iMac features a robust I/O with 4 USB ports, 2 USB-C Thunderbolt 3 ports, which can be used to add an external 5K monitor, and in the future promises expansion for external video cards, an SD card slot, and a gigabit Ethernet port. It packs enough power to handle pro tasks, so you really don't need to purchase that $5,000 iMac Pro if you're looking to do photo, video, or audio editing. The only recommendation I make when purchasing the entry-level iMac is to fit it with a solid-state drive. It makes the entire iMac open files super quick and is definitely the biggest speed upgrade you can give it for everyday tasks. The iPad Pro 10.5-inch was one of my favorite Apple products this year, and it holds a special place in my heart for kicking my channel back into gear. I have a full review you can watch for the nitty-gritty details on this product, but for a quick overview, this was the year that the iPad started to truly differentiate itself from the iOS on iPhone. Apple added a bunch of powerful new features in iOS 11, making multitasking easier and more powerful. iOS 11 introduced a dock on the iPad Pro, along with drag and drop and a file system. It really makes using the iPad Pro easier to get work done. Software aside, the 10.5-inch form factor hits a sweet spot in terms of portability and screen real estate between the 9.7 and 12.9-inch models. The new ProMotion display is super fast and fluid, and it really makes me wish this feature was on the iPhone and on the Mac. The A10X chip is incredibly powerful, and the iPad Pro is approaching raw performance of MacBook Pro models, and coupled with powerful apps like Procreate and Affinity Photo, with reduced latency from the Apple Pencil to 20 milliseconds, the iPad Pro is easily one of my favorite devices of the year, and I'm still using it as my laptop replacement to this day. And the number 2 spot belongs to the Apple Watch Series 3. I feel like the Apple Watch Series 3 didn't get the love it deserved when it was released. Much of the coverage of the new device was plagued by an initial bug that some reviewers had with the Apple Watch, constantly connecting to Wi-Fi spots. but that bug was quickly fixed and Apple added increased controls to watchOS 3 to make sure you can control Wi-Fi and cellular connections connecting independently. However, despite that fix, many of the reviewers have yet to update their reviews on the Series 3 watch. Honestly, I thought the Series 3 Apple Watch was one of the best products of the year. Not only did Apple make the watch a lot more fluid and snappy with their S3 chipset, they also added in a cellular radio and kept the device the same size, which was already small and unobtrusive compared to competitor smartwatches, especially competitor smartwatches that have a cellular connection and a GPS in them. Now you can take your Apple Watch with you without your phone and be constantly connected to receive important calls, messages, emails, and other alerts. It's an amazing device if you're an active person because you can leave your phone behind when you go on runs, swimming, hiking, and you can also use the watch to stream Apple Music, so it's a really great device to use with AirPods. 40 million songs on your wrists make it the ultimate iPod replacement. It's a great device if you're into fitness and you want to receive notifications on your wrist. It's the best smartwatch out there, and it definitely earns the number 2 spot with that cellular connection. It is a great device. Okay, and for the number 1 spot, I don't think it's any surprise. It had to be this, the iPhone X. This is the best phone I've ever used. It still delights me every day I use it, and I continue to be impressed with the overall quality of this phone. First off, I love the form factor of the iPhone X. It fits great in the hand, and the 5.8-inch screen is really awesome to look at. This is the first OLED iPhone, and the picture on the phone is probably the best on the market. The notch, which many thought would be a big deal breaker, is a total non-issue. When you're using the phone, you don't even notice it, unless you zoom in to watch a full-screen video, but even then, it's not that noticeable unless you constantly tell yourself to focus on the notch. The phone itself is such a beautifully designed piece of technology. I love the look of the stainless steel sides, the white glass back on the silver model, and it just fits so well in my pocket while still having a nice big screen. It feels way better than holding the Plus model of the previous iPhone. The A11 Bionic processor in the phone is super fast and snappy. If you thought the A10X on the iPad Pro was an amazing feat of engineering, the A11 packs even more power. This processor might not feel like it's being fully taken advantage of, and I agree with that sentiment, but this chip should future-proof it for future applications like augmented reality. The camera on the iPhone X is also pretty amazing. You get great pictures in any situation. Portrait mode works even better in low lighting, and it also adds a cool portrait lighting mode, which isn't perfect, but when you get a decent shot, it does look really cool. The second zoom lens is also upgraded to have optical image stabilization and a bigger aperture of f2.4 compared to the iPhone 8 f2.8 aperture. This makes the 2x mode a lot more reliable and allows you to get better zoom shots in lower lighting. I love all the new gestures on this phone, and I don't miss the home button at all, especially swiping the bottom of the bar to quickly switch apps. Face ID works well in use cases. In fact, it's accurate, secure. I wouldn't say it's necessarily better than Touch ID, especially in some instances, but it works for me, and I'm really appreciating this feature now that it's winter and I'm constantly wearing gloves outside. It's very easy to unlock your phone, and you don't have to take your hand out of a glove and scan your fingerprint. All in all, the iPhone X is a great phone. It definitely earns the number 1 spot on my top 5 Apple products of 2017. I still haven't done a full review on it, but I will soon, and I will have a lot more to say about it then. But as it stands now, this was my favorite and personal best Apple product of 2017. Thanks again for watching this video. Give the video a like if you liked it, subscribe to my channel to see more, and let me know what your favorite Apple products of 2017 were, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.